Everybody, welcome back to what I hope will be a brief speculation station, because I've been thinking about the news that Citi wants to be the exclusive card issuer for American Airlines. And the more I think about it, the more I think that Citi has to get this done now, and it has to get this done as soon as possible, and to get this in front of regulators yesterday, basically. Why do I think that? Because American Airlines holds pretty much all of the leverage in this negotiation. Citi has an impetus to get this done, to be the exclusive issuer, because if Citi loses the ability to be the exclusive issuer, or doesn't secure that in a contract, what's to stop American Airlines from shopping their suite of credit cards, or the ability to issue their credit cards to Capital One or Wells Fargo or another bank? So Citi is trying to get everything done as soon as possible, because Citi needs to get everything done as soon as possible. And the more I think about it, the more it just makes sense that Citi needs American. American doesn't need Citi. American's biggest thing right now is they want to control as much of their pie as possible. And Citi would have to come over the top with a crazy good deal for American to consider just going with them. And that may not include transfer partner. That may not include, some other things, because Citi and American have been partners for 37 years. They both know where each other's bodies are buried. And after 37 years, if you're still not the exclusive transfer partner in the way that Delta is the exclusive transfer partner with American Express, and the way that United became the exclusive transfer partner with Chase, if it's been 37 years, something's up. And when the news broke about this potential deal, it was also mentioned that this sort of deal was offered by American to Citi when American bought US Airways, and this dual issuer came up initially. And Citi decided not to take that deal, to become transfer partners and get that taken care of. Why would American now agree to do this at Citi's behest when Citi said no the first time? And the landscape has changed significantly since then. Capital One is now a major player in the travel game. Wells Fargo is entering the travel game. And Citi has sort of diminished in the travel game. The Prestige lost its travel guarantees. The Citi Premier lost its travel guarantees. They withdrew popular circulation of the Citi Prestige, although the Citi Prestige is still supported, because Citi cannot end a zombie card to save its life. There has been a lot of movement on Citi's end, moving away from the travel game. And now Citi is trying to re-enter that game, and it's a much different landscape than, we've got to compete with American Express and we've got to compete with Chase, and we had superior cards to do that. Now, you can claim that Citi has superior cards to Chase and American Express on everyday spend. Sure. I don't know how much of a winning argument that is. And even with those cards, they were never able to exclusively transfer to American Airlines. So, yeah, you've got thank you points, but where are they going? The same places that Chase's thank you points will go if they're not going to United or Hyatt. The same places that American Express's membership reward points are going, because nobody transfers to Delta anymore. They just get the Delta cards and fly Delta. So the landscape is also including Capital One, which, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Capital One, they do have things to their benefit, and the American Airlines a whole lot more than Citi will, especially if the Discover deal goes through. Because if that deal goes through, they'll be able to offer more of a swipe fee to American Airlines. And if American Airlines is looking to catch up from the $5.4 billion that they make on credit cards to Delta's $7.2, I think getting a larger swipe fee is going to close that gap a lot easier than issuing a few million more cards. So Capital One becomes a huge dark horse if Citi can't get this deal done. Wells Fargo, I think Wells Fargo would have to settle with just the deal that Citi has right now. I don't know if they would have to also do a dual card issuance, but I think anything that's going to get Wells Fargo more money, they'll be fine with, especially as like their asset cap gets lifted, and if they can make some corrections to the Built deal and make the Built deal a little less heavily in Built's favor. I think Citi would have to offer the same sort of sweetheart style deal that Built has with Wells. Maybe not pay American Airlines $200 for every card that gets opened, but really favorable terms to American Airlines in order to close the gap. I do think there's a pretty wide gap in negotiations, otherwise that story would not have been leaked. So I think that was a Citi tactic. I think Citi is desperate to get this done as soon as possible, and maybe it would behoove American Airlines to consider waiting. We'll see. The other thing that might hold things up is that this would have to go to a regulatory body, and that regulatory body may or may not have a job in about 60 days. So the quicker it can get in front of a regulatory body, maybe the sooner that regulatory body would just say, yeah, okay, and just stamp it and move on. Same potentially with the Discover Capital One deal. And they may want things to go one way over another for that to happen. But then you'd be waiting another couple months to get that official. So we'll see. But for Speculation Station today, I will say Citi needs to get this deal with American Airlines done as quickly as possible. And I'm not sure that American Airlines benefits unless they get a deal so in their favor that it's like the Built deal with Wells Fargo that it will not make sense for Citi. It would be a Pyrrhic victory for Citi. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button. Share with your friends if you want to as well. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, check out the pinned comment down below. And if you want to become a Tidbit collector, that is my one and only membership level. That would be a huge boost to the channel as well. Also, we'll be recording Stack Your Points later tonight. That is Monday, coming out on Wednesday. We have a special guest this week, but Stack Your Points is the podcast I co-host with Lonnie from Call Me Lonnie, RJ from Do You Take Cards, Tariq from Reek's Rewards, and we have special guest Key from Kiki's Adventure this week. So, talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Bye for now.